Spears, and I'm thrilled to be here today. I was so happy when I met Prudence. I've been hearing about this beautiful gallery, and I hadn't come by here. So one day I came to see Mary Jane's show, and I came on the wrong day. Mary Jane wasn't here, and none of the Gaga girls were here, and it was just Prudence and I. And so she said something about my work, and I had some pictures on my phone, and I showed her that. And she asked if she could come by the studio and look at my work, and so she did one day. And I just couldn't have been happier to be represented here, because this is the most beautiful gallery in San Antonio. And the quality of the work is just wonderful. When I met Joseph the other day, we both said simultaneously, "I love your work." And the first time when I came in here and I saw that piece of Joseph's over there, that long skinny piece, I just fell in love with it. I just couldn't have been more thrilled to experience that piece. And had I had a place to hang it, I probably would have purchased it, but I don't have any room in my home anymore. So, my process, it really changed with the pandemic. I was using a lot of pointillist process, lots of little dots and lots of shapes and flowing, moving pieces with oil. I was always using oil paint. And so when the pandemic came and I saw that virus floating across this television screen with those little spiky things, I just thought, I can't continue to do these top paintings. That just reminded me too much of that horrible virus and how it impacted us so fearfully in the beginning. I remember how terrified I was. I was absolutely terrified because we didn't know anything about this. No, we're hearing all kinds of things. And so I thought, what could I do that would be the exact opposite of oil painting? So I thought collage would be a good way to start. So I went to the store and I found some beautiful paper, and I used to make handmade paper myself, but the paper studio at the Southwest School that's closed down, the director of the paper studio passed away, and then they didn't reopen the paper studio, so I can't make paper anymore. But I did that for about 15 years, made handmade paper. And I was putting my prints on the handmade paper for a long time, and then I kind of transitioned to these oil paintings. And then when I decided to do the collages, I wanted them to be really stable and secure and kind of like a monument or a cenotaph or something that was just had a lot of structural stability. So I started putting these paper pieces together. The collages are back in that other room, so if you want to look at those later, they're back there in the basket. So I started doing the collages, and then I thought I wanted to move to something larger. So I found this paper at Jerry's, and it's Fabriano Artistico paper, and it's really, really fantastic paper. It's super thick, and it's $20 a sheet. So you can tell just from picking it up that it's fantastic paper. So it takes all those layers of pastel. So I found the pastels. I used to grind my own and just shave them from regular sticks. And then I found these pan pastels that they come in a little plastic container, and they have a little sleeve around the top that you peel off, and it says not intended for cosmetic use. So that's what they look like, is they look like makeup or eyeshadow or powder that you would put on your face. So, and you actually apply them with a little sponge that comes with them, and they have different shapes and sizes of these little sponges. And you can also use makeup sponges, and you can use tissue to blend. So I started doing these large pieces and masking off areas and then putting that pan pastel on. And then some of the stencils I cut myself, and some of them I buy. There is a company called Stencil Girl, and it's an artist that makes stencils for artists. So that's what I've been doing, is using those. So, and as far as inspiration, I guess I'd have to say it was my grandmother that was my most, they lived on a cotton farm in Plainview, and so we would go out there every summer and spend the summer, and so she would tell me all about her flowers and her vegetable garden and the cotton and the soybeans and all that kind of thing. And she would have me, she'd say, come over here and look at this. And these are little snapdragons here, and when you pinch the neck of the snapdragon, the little mouths open on it. So she showed me that, and we talked about color and complementary color, and how pink and green set each other off, and how red and green set each other off. And so she was such an inspiration to me. She was my best friend, and she, like I said, she's the one that got me to really inspect nature and start to appreciate nature, and just the vastness of it all. And then I started looking into, when I was in college, I started studying botany and took a lot of classes like that. So that kind of helped me develop some of my imagery too. So, any questions?
How do you make them?
Well, I use masks to keep the areas separate, and then I apply the pastel in several layers. There's usually about 6 or 8 layers on there. And then I do them, I have 2 or 3 going at a time, because they have to be sprayed in between with a fixative. So I take them outside and spray them, and then bring them back in and leave the studio immediately, because that stuff is so toxic. And then I put the stenciling on top, and just keep adding layers.
The yellow is a stencil also?
This.
And then the black, no, and that's the blue there part. The yellow is a stencil?
No, that's just different layers of pastel applied.
So that was hand applied over the blue?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Your color sense is beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I think I get that from just the magic of complementary colors. I mean, that's what I always told my students. I taught for 35 years, and I told them I really push complementary color, because like Matisse said, complementary colors wake each other up. And that's exactly what they do when you put red next to green, and when you put purple next to yellow, and when you put blue next to orange. Each color becomes more intense. So that's really kind of my secret to color theory, is the complementary color.
But what's really nice about your colors is that they're toned down. They have a muted quality, so they're
These little ones the smaller ones are getting brighter for some reason.
It's kind of like little dogs that have a bigger bark.
But no, I've really enjoyed the process, and I've really enjoyed doing them. And like Joseph said, he doesn't listen to music. I do. I listen to this station called Chill, and it's all instrumental music. There's no lyrics to it. So that, because I don't like the verbiage in the background, but I do like a little bit of music. So
I was saying, when I study, I used to listen to instrumental because words get stuck.
exactly. And then sometimes even when you do, you'll think, oh, I was listening to whatever, Inagata Vita. So I don't want that association with my work. But a friend of mine who was in Gaga, that women's art group that we're in, she listens to books on tapes when she paints, and she said she looks at that painting and that's all she sees is the book that she was listening to when she was working on that painting. So I didn't want to do that, But no, I like, and what Joseph said about being a solitary thing, it is. It's a tough thing. In fact, my wonderful friend Donna, a few years ago, asked me if she left for the summer to have new grandbabies, and she asked me if I wanted to use the studio while she was gone, and I said sure. And so we worked it out where she takes a week and I take a week, so that way we've got a big table, and so we can spread out everything and work all week, and then I clean up on Sunday, and she comes in on Monday and does her thing and spreads out all week. So I have a studio at home too, but this has been really good for me to be at Blue Star and around other artists instead of being home alone all day by myself. And that's all I ever wanted. In my whole life, those 35 years of teaching, I thought, if I could just be home and in the studio all day by myself. And I did that for a year, and it was way too solitary. Especially after having taught all those years and being around people all day long every day. So
And I want to add, she cleans up really good.
That has worked out so well for us. I couldn't be more thankful. And thank y'all for coming so much. My art is my life. I never had kids because I knew I couldn't do it all, but I knew I wanted to be, ever since I was a kid, I wanted to be an artist. And what you were saying about having your library, I would put my watercolors in my wagon and take them up and down the street and try to sell them for money. But no, this has been my dream come true, so I really want to thank y'all for sharing this with me today. It's really sincere.
Thank you all very much for coming. I so enjoyed listening to Stephanie and to Joseph. Wonderful talks about y'all's process, and I love the story of the watercolors and the wagon. I didn't know about the library as well. So anyway, I so enjoyed y'all coming out. Please enjoy looking around at all the art and the artists here at the gallery. There are quite a few of them that are here, and there is champagne.